Courtney, your host of the My Camp podcast. I'm so happy to welcome you back. We are live here in the Girls HC, and I'm really excited to introduce my brand new camp bestie, Carol from Adam's Camp. Carol, welcome to my camp. Welcome to the Girls HC. It's so wonderful to see you today. Thank you so much for being here.
Well, it's great to be here. We're among my camp friends. We have lots in common.
Camp friends are the best friends always. But everybody has, Carol, I'm going to start right off. Everybody has a really great camp origin story. So what's your camp origin story?
Well, our camp, Adam's Camp, is a little bit deceiving in its name, in that it's actually an intensive therapy program for children with special needs and their families. Adam's Camp has evolved into more of a typical camp, but the origins started with my family in 1980. I was trying to have children. I got pregnant. I had triplets. It's a much longer story up until that, but they were very premature. So after 9 days,
how many weeks?
28 weeks. We were 28, they were 28 weeks. And that, unfortunately, in 1980, they didn't have some of the wonderful medical interventions that they have today to help prevent some of the things that happen with premature births. So two of my kids, one of them, Greg, I had three boys. One of them, Greg, had Heinlein membrane disease. And then Adam had a cerebral hemorrhage. So both of those are not uncommon with premature babies. After 9 days, Greg succumbed to his Heinlein membrane disease, and we had to take him off of life support. So that experience, first of all, gave us an incredibly new and vivid appreciation for the complexity of life and what it really takes for us to all come together and become human beings. That was pretty profound and probably impacted this whole journey that we're going to be talking about. Adam had with his cerebral hemorrhage, he began to accumulate fluid in his brain. Had it not been for the fact that 10 years earlier, a doctor at Colorado Children's Hospital had created the shunt, which is able to enter the ventricle and drain that fluid, Adam may well have died as well. So we're very grateful for that. He did get a shunt and he was sent home from the hospital. Jared, I shouldn't leave Jared out. Jared's our third and first out, and he has no discernible disabilities today. But Adam left the hospital after 3 months. And when he left, the doctor told us, hey, Adam has cerebral palsy. He may never walk, he may never talk, or you may not even be able to tell. And then we went home and we were deer in the headlights. So we went to his pediatrician, and the pediatrician said, we don't know. So what you need to do is to get every intervention that you can, speech therapy, physical therapy, occupational therapy. So we did all those things. And pretty soon that rhythm entered our life of taking Adam to all these appointments. And pretty soon we had therapists coming to our house, and he went to an early intervention program and he was doing great. But when he was getting ready to graduate from preschool, he still wasn't walking, and he never crawled either. He scooted on his elbows. We called him Scooter, and he got around just fine, but you can't really go to an elementary school scooting on your elbows. So they suggested that we put him in a wheelchair. That was going to be a self-fulfilling prophecy that we were not interested in, because his physical therapist really did think he would eventually walk. So we got really desperate for something to help him get up and moving. So we went to an intensive therapist. We went and stayed with her up in Snowmass for a week. She worked with Adam intensively for 5 hours a day. And at the end of that time, he walked independently in a walker. And we were very surprised and excited, although I was still skeptical. I thought, well, who couldn't after all of that intervention. But sure enough, he maintained that progress, and he walked in his walker every day, practiced, and he was able to go to school in the walker. Well, his
Probably
physical,
felt so great for him,
oh
like,
yes,
when you think about a regular developing child, when they start to walk, like, it's a whole new world. So for him to wait so long, like, to see that as a parent, oh, I can't even imagine the pride that he felt in himself and you. Like, I'm sorry, keep going.
it
Keep
very
going.
well, very much so, Courtney. It was opening a whole new world for him. And we became even more encouraged that he would walk independently, but he still needed to have his walker. But in the meantime, his physical therapist and I talked, and I said, wow, this was amazing. We felt pretty informed. We wanted to share this intervention model with other families. So Diane was the physical therapist's name, gathered 5 of her clients, or 4 others besides us, and we decided, let's put together a program where we can provide this intensive therapy for families. But we started thinking about some of our other needs as well, such as the fact that none of his therapists really communicated with each other. And so they all wanted us to do all these things with Adam. We were overwhelmed. Nobody, it seemed disjointed, even though they were all well-meaning people. So we thought, instead of just doing physical therapy, why don't we bring all the therapists together in one room, have them work with our kids for 5 days with this intensive therapy, and then at the end of that week, give us a program, give us what you believe is the most sensible way to move forward with our child, that maybe integrates all of these things so that we're not feeling so crazy. So we went up to Snowman Ranch. Diane knew someone up there, and that was really a divine intervention as far as I'm concerned, because it's the perfect place for us. Snowman Ranch is a YMCA of the Rockies. It's up near Granby. It is absolutely breathtaking. There are individual family cabins, but there's also big reunion cabins, and they have tons of activities. They have archery, they have roller skating, they have swimming, they have all that stuff. So it's all built into the property. So we all went up there, we took our therapy stuff, we did an intensive therapy program with a speech, occupational, and physical therapist, 5 kids. We did there's also therapeutic horseback riding there. So we did that. We did swimming. And about halfway through that week, we were all getting together for dinner, and Adam was looking at Lisa, who has cerebral palsy, and he was the same age as Adam. She's more involved than he is because Adam's hemiplegic, which is one-sided cerebral palsy, but she was walking. Kind of weird, kind of the way a kid with cerebral palsy would walk, but Adam got up and walked across the room to her independently, because I think a couple of things happened. One was he was watching somebody like him walk. Watching me walk doesn't help him. He doesn't know how to walk like that, but he does know how to walk like Lisa walks. And then also that combined with the intensive therapy really made an impact on him. And Courtney, he's walked independently ever since that day.
How
no
old
walker.
Was he? Like, how old was he at that
moment? Was 6. He was 6. So all the other families had significant breakthroughs as well, not necessarily that dramatic, but something that they were stuck on. And so we all had a great time. The part about it that was the most surprising to my husband and I was the parent support that we provided, because we had a mental health worker come up and meet with the parents so we could all talk about the way we felt about this. And we were listening to other parents of other kids talk about their struggles, and we thought, well, yeah, they're doing a great job. They're doing this and this and this. And then we're thinking, well, so are we. And maybe this is all going to be okay. And I think the big thing that we left with, in addition to Adam's great progress, was hope. We were really believing in a different way about Adam's abilities, about what he'd be able to do, and about our ability to support him in an important way. So that was the beginning of Adams Camp. We all came back the next year because we had such a great experience. We all made great gains again, and then some other people heard about it, so that we added another group. And honestly, Adams Camp we never had a strategic plan in the beginning of what this was going to be like. As a matter of fact, we never even really intended to start an organization. We just wanted to start a program for some families, but it just caught fire, and people loved it and came back year after year. Our kids got older. We realized the intensive therapy wasn't their basic need, but more socialization. So we added our I Can camp, which is our more typical sleepaway camp. That camp grew, and then all of a sudden they became teenagers, and we thought, you know what? We need to really build some social networks for these kids. So we started our teen camp, but in addition to the camp, we have a dance, we have some long weekends. We do try to get these kids together throughout the year so that they can foster and create and enjoy these relationships. So then we thought, okay, this is great. We've met our goal, and we're going to serve all these kids up to age 18. And then Greg Hauserman turned 18. Greg Hauserman, when he gets in the car with his dad on the way down from camp, he says, 364 days until camp, Dad. And he counts down. Well, I wasn't going to tell Greg Hauserman he couldn't come back next year because he was going to be 19. So we extended our age limit, and we said, okay, we'll serve kids to 94, up to 94, to 24. And today our oldest camper is 58. So we just recognize that this opportunity is so rare for our campers that it's a value to them, no matter what age they are.
So many thoughts as I'm listening to you tell your story. I'm like, I want to comment on this and I want to comment on that. But you know what? Necessity is the mother of invention,
Absolutely.
right? And some of I've interviewed and spoken to so many different program directors and camps, and it's always been a need, whether special needs or trying to find programs for girls, like that creates these programs.
Right.
And so amazing that you and especially you think about in the 80s when there's such a little access to resources. You can't get online and find other families. You really do feel alone, and you created that community. I know I'm in South Florida, and just through my own experience, we have the Down Syndrome Association and all of these groups that just provide not services for the person in the special needs themselves, but to the families. And yes. I know the families is a huge part of your program. So talk about that a little bit. So you include the whole families when they come up for like your 5-day or your sleepaway camp program, correct?
Yes. Not the sleepaway camp, but the 5-day therapy program, which is our core competency, really. And it's what sets us apart from anyone else. As far as we know, nobody else does this anywhere. I will mention that because of that, we have people from all over the U.S. that come, and we have started programs in other parts of the U.S., Nantucket, Alaska, Texas, and even Northern Ireland. We had a program. Unfortunately, none of those survived COVID, but they lasted for a number of years, I know. But at any rate, yes, we believe that when a child has special needs, the whole family has special needs. So again, like I mentioned to you initially, serving the parents, and what we do to do that is we have parent programming every morning after they drop the kids off. We bring in experts in different areas, and we interview the parents beforehand to see what they need at that stage. Many of them want financial advice about special needs trusts and things like that. We bring in behavior specialists. We bring in people from the school system to help with advocacy, all kinds of topics that we go across or that we talk about. But we also provide social opportunities, like we have a houseboat ride on Grand Lake, and we have beer and brats, and we provide all of these opportunities just for these parents to get together and network. While at the same time, we have a sibling program. every sibling gets to attend their own camp, if you will. So that provides two opportunities, one for them to just have their own thing, but also it's an opportunity for them to be with kids like them. And that's unusual for them to be with sibling that, so with other kids that sometimes get second place because of the needs of their brother or sister, for other kids that feel guilty because they're typical in their brother or sister struggles, and they gently have a way to share that with each other and with the people that run those programs. So that is how we integrate the family. So yes, when those families come up, they are prepared and know that they're all going to be participating.
Yeah, I actually have a personal friend, 4 kids, 3 boys, going for that 4th, had a girl, and during delivery and has cerebral palsy, and she's 3 now. But it's interesting as they are parents trying to make financial choices for themselves, and the oldest brother, who is in 8th grade, says things to his mom like, you don't have to worry about Maria, I will always be there for Maria. So these siblings carry a lot of just weight too, that they know, even as children, as teenagers, that they might have to be the primary caregiver, and there's a lot. That's a lot.
Yeah.
So
that's a lot to take on for kids.
Yeah, and in your mind,
they either go that way or they are resentful. So, but either emotion is valid. You just have to meet them where they are and help them walk through that.
So right now, how many kids or how many people are you serving at Adams Camp through your 5-day? Like, how many kids come through your door a year?
Right. So I believe last summer we served 495 kids and families. That does not include the parents and siblings. So that's just the camper. So really and truly, it's closer to 800 or 900, I guess. Altogether, over the years, I think we've served over 20,000. And our programming takes place 6 weeks out of the summer. So we have a full program of therapy camp and adventure camp going on at the same time during the summer. And we'll have 4 adventure groups and 4 to 5 therapy groups each week. We also have an early start program in Denver, which serves birth to 3 or it's 1 to 4 year olds with intensive therapy. It's just a half-day program. So that's in the summer.
Wow. I am so impressed, and you're doing such amazing work. And you guys are located in Colorado, right? We are.
Our office is in Centennial, Colorado, but our summer programming takes place at Snow Mountain Ranch in near Granby.
Oh, I bet it's beautiful. I've never been to Colorado. It's on my bucket list.
You've got to get here, Courtney. It's God's country.
I know people that have gone there on vacation, come back, sold their house, and moved. So I need to make it. I need to make it out there. So what's next for Adams Camp? What is the future for Adams Camp?
Our big issue right now is wait lists. We have very substantial wait lists for both of our programs. So we just met yesterday to say, what are we going to do here? Because we are pretty much maxed out at Snow Mountain Ranch on what we can do. So we need to figure out ways to provide programming either in a different location or to expand our current location into lodging and other things around us. Winter Park ski area is very close to us. There are opportunities around us, but we've got to figure that out. We always evaluate what we're doing and how we're doing it. So we continue to fine tune that. We want to make sure we stay in our lane. We don't want to be trying to be everything to everybody. We want to make sure that we're the best at what we do provide. So those are our primary objectives. And then, of course, to stay financially solvent, it's challenging. For instance, our transportation costs have just skyrocketed. And so we continue to work hard on fundraising, but also what our financial model is, and continuing to fine tune that. It's really, really challenging. I know that's the way it is for everybody these days.
Wow, amazing. So how is Adam these days? Is
Oh,
Adam, what's Adam up to?
Adam is amazing. He's 43 years old, which I can hardly believe. And he lives in his own apartment. He has for about 12 years. He works at ARC Thrift Stores, which is an organization in Colorado that serves people with special needs and employs them. In fact, the CEO of ARC Thrift Stores is our board of directors chairman. It's a you know how that community is. It's very connected. He is in a social group. He was on the board of directors for our agency for 9 years. He loves our church. He volunteers at the Denver Rescue Mission on Fridays. He takes taekwondo, and he's hilarious.
Amazing. What are some of the traditions at Adam's camp? Are there any? What are some of the traditions that the campers, if they come back, they look forward to?
It's interesting because we worry that they're going to get tired of the same activities, but they don't. They have that in their mind. They come and, okay, on this day, we're going to do archery. On this day, that one of the big ones is the campfire. They love the campfire. They love the talent show. They love the dance. We go rafting. We go to Winter Park and do all of the mountain, like the Alpine Slide and all the mountain activities. We go to Grand Lake and do lake activities. They get ice cream. I mean, the list goes on and on and on, but you can't miss one of those. You got to make sure they're all there every time. So I think for our campers, really and truly, the whole thing is a tradition. Every single thing that we do is a part of what makes it special for them.
And that, I feel like, is a rule around camp just all over. I work at a sleepaway camp over the summer, and it's just, it's home. It's that familiarity.
Mm-hmm.
Is there like a favorite food or meal? Like, what is everybody, if they know that on Tuesdays they're going to do this, like what camp meal is the fave?
Well, not as much, although of course they always love pizza night. Who doesn't?
Right.
Excuse me. But no, I would not say we necessarily have a favorite meal, because our meals do vary, because we have different cooks, and that's another thing we work really hard on, because that's a challenge. But yeah, so we have different people providing. That's always a work in progress. We did actually partner with the YN Build a $2 million building that has a commercial kitchen, which is something we did not have up until then. So we are more capable of providing, meals for our kids. But yeah, that isn't necessarily, it's not like a typical camp that has a big, place they go and eat. Like the adventure campers, we take the food to them because they like to eat in their cabins with their buddies. And the kids, of course. Go ahead.
No, you go finish.
Well, I was just going to say that the therapy campers eat with their families, and their families eat in their own cabins. So, yeah.
But you mentioned the campfire. So what are some of your campfire traditions or songs that you might sing?
Well, once again, it depends on who the campfire leader is. We use some of the staff from the YMCA who are musical sometimes to lead our campfire. That really varies. And honestly, I don't know exactly what they're all doing right now.
Sorry about that.
Am I still on?
I am now. So let's go back.
Okay. Well, the answer is we have different leaders with music, and they do lots of fun things. I haven't been up there recently enough to know exactly what they're doing right now, but anytime they can perform, they love it. So if a camp, any way that they can be involved or be standing out, they love that.
And again, I think those are traditions that are clear across the board, no matter who your campers are performing, campfires, all of that, just great familiarity, just it's all just part of camp. So
Right.
where can we go, Carol, if someone is watching this and wants to find more about Adams Camp, or how can we donate? Like, how can we learn more about your mission?
Well, the best thing to do is to go to our website, which is adamscamp.org. Very simple. On that website, there are multiple links to what our program registration is open for next summer and is over half full. So anyone who might be interested in attending, and again, people from across the United States come. It's a family vacation. And for many of our families, it's the only family vacation they can take because it accommodates everyone. So that's one thing I would emphasize. You can donate on the website. We are grateful for any funding that we can get. We do subsidize over 50% of every camper's tuition because this is an expensive program to run. And so we do that through our fundraising efforts. So we have a very healthy scholarship program. We never turn people away because of money. And that's challenging, as you can imagine. So yes, we would love that. I believe that in the follow-up that there's going to be more information about how to connect to our Facebook page, Twitter, all of those
we'll
things.
have all of that. We'll put
Right.
all that in our show notes so people can find out more about that.
Yes.
Carol, thank you so much for joining me today. It has been an absolute pleasure. The first thing I'm going to do when we're done is I'm going to text your website to my friend with the daughter with cerebral palsy.
Oh, I hope you do. It would be wonderful to have her.
It's amazing. So I hope that we can have you on again in the future and hear more about where you guys are at and what you need. It's always nice to connect with our new camp friends. So guys, thank you so much for joining me today at my camp here in the Girls HC. And I hope you join us next time. But if you love camp and you want to hear more about my camp, you can find us where you listen to your podcast, Apple Podcasts, Spotify. We have a great YouTube channel, Happy Camper Live, 365 days of camp all year long. Check it out. Carol, thanks again for being here.
It was my pleasure. Thanks for doing this.
Best of luck. Give Adam a hug from me and all of us here at Happy Camper Live, and we'll save us more for you. Thanks.
Thank you, Courtney.
Take a moment to shine.